Prime Minister Netanyahu has arrived in the U.S., but his schedule remains uncertain. Today's planned meeting with President Biden is not expected to take place until later in the week due to the president still recovering from COVID. Biden is at his home in Delaware and is not expected back in Washington until he tests negative. Upon arrival in Washington, Netanyahu met with a group of families of Israeli hostages and told them that the conditions for a deal are coming together without a doubt. It's also not yet clear if Netanyahu will meet former president and Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump. Netanyahu requested the meeting, but according to Axios, the former president has yet to agree, but has not ruled it out. According to that report, the meeting would not take place until after a Thursday night rally in North Carolina. In that case, Netanyahu would remain in the U.S. longer than intended and will not return on a flight home until Saturday night. A meeting with Vice President and likely Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris is possible, but also not yet scheduled. Harris has been busy lining up support for her presidential run after President Biden announced he will not stand for re-election. Netanyahu is scheduled to address both houses of Congress tomorrow. Day 291 of the war in Gaza, a renewed IDF ground incursion is underway in Gaza's Khan Yunis. Troops from the 98th Division began a combined operation above and below ground in Khan Yunis. The operation followed intelligence that located and led to the elimination of armed terrorists and terrorist infrastructure in the area, and followed Hamas attempts to restore terrorist operations in the city. Air Force and artillery hit 30 terrorist sites in Khan Yunis, including an area from which a launch was made that fell in an open area near Nirim. In order to avoid civilian casualties, Gazans were ordered to leave part of the humanitarian area of Gaza in Khan Yunis. This after intelligence indicated that Hamas had embedded terrorist infrastructure in the humanitarian zone. In Samaria, an airstrike targeted an armed terrorist cell. The strike in Tulkarem killed 3 senior members of terror groups. Troops also engaged with gunmen. Earlier, the Shin Bet announced that it uncovered a terrorist plan in Judea and Samaria to kidnap Israelis. The discovery was in the Aqaba Jabbar camp near Jericho. One of the terror suspects had dug a hole near one of the homes that they intended to use to hold hostages. 2 terrorists were arrested. They had purchased firearms and other weapons and recruited others to carry out the kidnapping.
Experience the power of truth with ILTV News. If you're looking for quality content and captivating visuals, join our news community and become an integral part of our team as we embark on a mission to unveil the real Israel, dismantling the web of lies and misinformation that surround reporting on Israel. By subscribing to ILTV News, you will not only have access to the latest updates, but you will also amplify our message, creating a ripple effect that carries the truth far and wide. Subscribe today and help reshape the narrative. Available on the web, Android, and Apple.